We want to tell you about something new beginning to happen in the American family. As we know, a generation of single women decided if there was no man in their lives, they'd become mothers on their own. But tonight, there are signs that men who've had no luck finding a mate are beginning to do exactly the same thing. Here's ABC's Amy Roback.
Today's video is about single men living as MGTOW who have decided that they don't need a girlfriend or a wife to have a biological child on their own. These men have opted out of dating and marriage, and for a good reason. With over 60% of marriages ending in divorces, and with women initiating over 80% of all divorces, it seems very likely that this will become a growing trend in the near future, where men abandon a traditional relationship with women in order to have and raise their very own children. Did I mention that after a divorce, in most cases, women end up keeping the full custody of children while men are busy paying vaginamony, aka alimony, and child support until the child is at least 18 years old. This is because the courts are biased against men and in most cases favour women.
The befuddled dad in that Huggies commercial.
We asked real dads to put them to the test.
Solo with baby and desperate for mom to step in. It is an enduring stereotype now being shattered.
Okay, it's ready.
By guys like 57-year-old Stephen Harris, a single dad by choice.
It would be cheaper and easier for a man to raise a child on his own with an occasional help from relatives and a nanny. Obviously, for this to happen, you must have your finances in order or have a flexible work arrangement which will allow you to spend as much time with the child as possible. But it seems for lots of men around the world, this is a far better option than getting married or knocking up a random woman in order to have kids.
Tell me where you were in your life when you started to feel your biological clock ticking.
Studies indicate that a man's age can affect his fertility in three main ways. The older the father, the harder it is to conceive a baby. Older fathers are more likely to see pregnancies result in miscarriages. And the older age of the father can potentially trigger health problems in a child too. Unlike women who are born with finite number of eggs, men continue to produce sperm throughout their entire life. And some can father children well into their 60s and beyond, an age where women's clocks have totally stopped ticking. George Lucas, Steve Martin, and Rod Stewart all famously fathered children in their late 60s. But for most men, testosterone declines as they age, which can lead to decreased libido and erectile dysfunction. And as they get older, men also see a decline in the quantity and genetic quality of sperm. Still, every man is different, and it seems that deteriorating sperm quality can be combated. Ramajit Raghav, the 96-year-old Indian man, has fathered a child and reportedly eats a diet rich in vegetables and almonds, and he claims to have sex 3 times a night, both of which may positively affect his sperm. Recent research from the Department of Energy's Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory showed that diets high in vitamin C, antioxidants, vitamin E, zinc and folate can prevent DNA damage from accumulating in sperm. And an Australian study presented in the annual meeting of the European Society of Human Reproduction and Embryology in Amsterdam in 2009 found that daily ejaculation helped reduce DNA damage in sperm for the majority of men, though it increased DNA damage in some. So in other words, men are more likely to have children in their 50s, 60s and beyond as long as they live a healthy lifestyle. The same can be said for women, as after the age of 40, majority of women will have a very hard time getting pregnant, and even if they do get pregnant, there's a high chance that the baby will be prone to Down syndrome and other similar conditions.
I always wanted kids, and I never imagined my life without having a child.
Harris dated throughout his 30s and 40s, but he never found Mrs. Right. So he used a donor egg from one woman and hired another to be his surrogate. 5 years later, he has Ben.
Good for you, Ben. There's nothing that's not fun about it, and it's enriched my life so much.
Even changing diapers by yourself?
It was fun.
And waking up at 3 a.m. for the feeding?
You know what? It wasn't that bad. You know, also, he slept through the night at 6 weeks.
I love the way the female reporter is trying to paint the picture that men are not capable of changing diapers or getting up at 3 a.m. to feed their child. Yeah, men can fly into space, build skyscrapers in cities, perform open heart surgeries and lead the way in neurosurgery, but changing that nappy or feeding the kid at 3 a.m.? Wow, suddenly life is so hard. Women can always bash men on national television, but imagine if a man questioned whether a woman was tough enough to join an ironworker team.
Gender roles have changed, and they're saying, you know, I want to do this, and if the relationship comes, then great, but I'm not going to wait.
Brian Tessier adopted 2 boys. He started 411 for Dad, a how-to hotline for single guys choosing to be dads.
The callers really, I mean, it's definitely been increasing. It's more than tripled since we started.
And while still a rarity, this duo is no longer a surprise, walking this new path together.
He's at an age now where he'll be asking
Yes,
about
he does ask.
a mom.
He's been asking that for a long time. I said, you know, there's all kinds of families, and there are families with 2 moms and 2 dads and 1 mom, and we're a family with you and me with 1 dad. And for now, that's enough.
Amy Robach, ABC News, New York.
Amy Robot. Yeah, with that shitty attitude, you will be soon replaced by a sex robot for sure. Obviously, Amy's sex robot wasn't happy about men having kids without being involved in a relationship with a woman, but fuck her, and women like her. Of course, women are still welcome to adopt kids from Africa or look after some poor children that were stolen from their parents from another third world country. Men, on the other hand, have always wanted their very own DNA to replicate, to have their very own child. It's been said that the MGTOW movement will lead to our population being lowered dramatically, however that is absolutely not true. Lots of men in the MGTOW community do want children. They just don't want to get married. They are not interested in cohabiting with women or having children with feminists who only view men as human wallets and sperm donors. And because we live in a gynocentric society where the governments only look out for the women's interest, it's no wonder why men are choosing to go MGTOW.
There's been a change in the world, especially in the last 50 years, in the world of men and women in particular. Women's roles have changed drastically. What a lot of us in this area find that men's roles have not changed very much, that there really hasn't been a response to the first, second, or the second and third waves of feminism, and that men have sort of just gone along and lived their lives without reacting to much of it. And that many of them find now that they have to react, that there is a very strong feeling that marriage has become unsafe ground for men.
Marriage?
Marriage.
Why is marriage unsafe for men?
Because we have corrupt family courts that practice bias against men and fathers routinely. And men are waking up to this, that they don't get a fair deal.
Why don't they get a fair deal?
Because of the preferential bias for mothers in custody.
I get a lot of complaints from my subscribers that they're not getting notified when I release a new video even though they're subscribed. That's because even when you're subscribed to my channel, YouTube only sends occasional notifications. So how do you make sure to know about the new videos? It's easy. If you watch YouTube on your computer and you're already a subscriber, go to the MGTOW 101 YouTube page and click the little bell icon. It's right next to the subscribe button. A window will pop up asking if you want to be notified when new videos are released. Make sure you click that box and hit save. If you have a cell phone or another mobile device, it's even easier. Go to the MGTOW 101 page on YouTube and click the bell icon right next to the subscribe button. Now you won't be the last to know. And if you watch my video within the first hour it's released, I'll leave in response to your comment. Thanks for listening to this important public service announcement. So what are you waiting for? Go and adjust your notifications now.